Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today, another dodgeball podcast. We had Frankie and Sam on to promote Beast Coast. That's it. Hope you guys enjoy the episode.
Ice water turn Atlantic, night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic.
Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today I got with me Frankie and Sam. How we doing?
Doing good.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. We're in event week, so it's a little stressed, but we're good.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Event week, wrapping up one season, kicking off the next all this week. So
yeah,
it's been busy.
Philly dodgeball's like the end of their season, you're saying?
Yeah. So like getting registration up for the next, gathering captains and teams for the next, but also setting up our playoffs for this current season. So it's not just a lot of extra work on top of real life right now.
Yeah, I feel that. Nutmeg, this is actually last night was the last week, and now we're going into playoffs next week.
Yeah, that's where we are.
So we got Beast Coast this weekend. Then we have playoffs Wednesday. Then we have semi-pro that Saturday. And then we have Seattle the Saturday after.
Nice.
Is semi-pro every weekend, or is it once Saturday?
It's typically one Saturday a month, but this upcoming, or not this upcoming one, the one after is on a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's a good time for sure.
Yeah.
Sam, you are making history right now.
What?
Frankie, you know what I'm going to say?
No, you got it.
First ever girl on Bromance.
I thought it was something serious. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Is there a dodgeball award I haven't got that I'm getting? That's hilarious.
Frankie,
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Frankie, do you remember when we went down to the Philly parade and we were at Tara's friend's apartment?
Tara's friend's apartment.
And we played the numbers game?
Yes.
And you were like, odds are out of like, it was pretty low number, I think, right?
It was like 1 in 10. And the dare was you had to get the name of 3 girls in the room by talking to them.
And we opened up the door and it was just 20 girls. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my living nightmare.
It's good for your wife, though. You don't like to talk to other women. I mean, great.
That's true. That's true. If something were to ever happen, I would be so fucked.
It would be a dude.
Probably. That sounds about right.
All right. Before we really get into the Beast Coast tournament, I want to talk to you guys about Philly dodgeball stuff. So I'll start with Sam. Sam, when did Philly dodgeball start?
August of 2022. We started with an open gym just to kind of see if we could get a facility booked and get people there. And we played with the USA Dodgeball foam balls, and it was a hit. I mean, we had so much fun. We played in South Philly for the open gym for 3 hours, and then I was like, all right, let's start it. And then we started the first league. I think it was actually September 6th, 2022.
And how many leagues do you guys currently run?
Currently, we run 2. So we run on Tuesdays, we do mixed foam, and then Wednesdays, we do she-they. And that's no sting. And we just wrapped our Friday league, which was regardless of the gender, so open foam. So
Okay.
So now 2, but just coming off the 3, yeah.
And you guys have ran some pretty cool leagues, right? So you've done like the Lavender League, you've done like the Pokemon League.
Yeah, so we I think like our community is pretty creative in coming up with themes, and I think Frankie, like with the remixes, has always been like, we need a theme. And I think Frankie came up with the Pokemon, and then I think Frankie always wanted to do game boards, or games for a long time. And so those are our biggest 2 that we've done since Philly Dodgeball's inception. We've like had themes where it's bring your own team, and then we're like, hey, everybody choose like a music theme, or your favorite artist. But the game board one right now it's cool because you get to design the jerseys a little bit differently. We've also done, so Lavender is our she-they. We tried a women's league and it really flopped, but then once we started doing like a she-they league, it really blew up. And then we've done cloth, We've done open no sting. We've done open home. I think that's about it. And then just a myriad of open. Did I miss any, Frankie?
We've done a social league. We did that
Oh,
twice, which was a good influx of talent. And my favorite theme we've ever done was in social league. It was sandwich themed. And
oh
on the
yeah.
the championship night, we made all the captains bring their sandwiches that their team was themed after and give them away
So
as like
funny.
awards, and also for me and Sam to have dinner. So that was my favorite so
Oh,
far.
you should have
Well,
had
because
them. Go ahead, Sam.
I was just gonna say the bar that we go to in University City doesn't have food after, like we go there after hours because it's a brewery and it's usually closing to stay open for us. So it saved me money because I didn't have to buy everybody food and everybody brought sandwiches and it was hilarious. They were giving out little slices. Oh, it was so funny.
For the playoffs, you just sort of had your team like devour the sandwich, and then you guys are allowed to play.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. What short-term goals do you have for Philly Dodgeball, and what long-term goals do you guys have for Philly Dodgeball?
Take this one, Frankie.
I'll go first. Okay. So for me, short-term goal is definitely standing up a third night permanently. This year we're focusing on what we're calling pop-up leagues. So the Friday one that Sam was referencing was like a pop-up with a brand new format and a different vibe. And then we're going to do a pop-up cloth league in the fall, and that one will be on Sundays. So we're just trying to like put leagues on nights and in different parts of the city and kind of see what sticks. And then, once we have a third night set up, that'll be really cool. I mean, I feel like dodgeball will have officially arrived and is here for stay once you have 3 nights in the city. That's crazy. Like that's competitive with the biggest leagues around the country outside of maybe like LA and New York. So
I was just thinking LA, yeah.
yeah. So that's definitely short term. And then long term for me is that other people besides Sam and I can do everything without Sam and I, which will also help for the resiliency of the league and make them last longer. It'll be nice when, you can just one, either trust people to do stuff, or two, they just do without even having to be asked. So that'll be cool once we're there. We have one league manager currently, and we had one for the Friday league, and that went really well. So yeah, just trying different people out and making this thing last is definitely the long-term goal.
Yeah, and I'll just say like all of that. And also just I think continuing to be more legitimate would be like a long-term goal. So that kind of comes in tandem with getting more sponsors. I think we sell sponsorships right now, but we sell them really low. So as we continue to grow, like Philly Dodgeball, our members, our social media, with that comes having a bigger opportunity to get not just local sponsors, but like sponsors that cover Pennsylvania, like the Delaware Valley is what we call it. So that would be my long-term goal. We need to, in order to grow our employees essentially and have more league managers, we need to have more money to pay those people. So that's definitely something we're focused on. And really short term is all about player experience. And so we really upped the ante and continue to do that with like awards, making sure that we spotlight people on social media. And really it comes down to league managers engaging with people every night. So yeah.
Yeah, you guys do a really good job of posting on social media. Like I think I see easily 2 or 3 clips a day.
Yeah, I think I mean, I really enjoy it. So I think that comes with it too. Like I could never see Frankie taking over Instagram. Like
Yeah, you
he
guys,
just,
this is all Sam.
yeah. I just don't think that's not his strength. His strength is like project management and like making sure that I'm doing what I need to do to continue to do my job and my role. It's a passion of mine, social media. So it kind of helps with growing the league locally. So
For sure, for sure. All right, so I have some questions for you, Sam, but I'll start with this. So Sam, you're a very accomplished woman. You're in the Navy. You own a rec league. You run nonprofits. You made and represented Team USA last year, and you were on the Team USA board. I can ask you a lot of questions, but I want to ask you, what motivated you to literally do even half of these things?
you're so good at talking to women, Ryan. Has anyone told you that?
This is literally on my notes. It's just word for word.
So what motivates me? I don't really, I don't know. I've always kind of been that person that just wants to always do better, always improve. And I'm just a really competitive person at heart. So when there's like a leadership position or a role or something to try out for, I'm usually the one to raise my hand. That's been a good thing in my life and also a downfall at the same time. Like I was on the board for a year and a half and I put too much on my plate and I was like, I can't give it the effort that it needs. So like it's also a good thing and a bad thing. It's a balancing act. But I don't know. I've just always been competitive and I've always wanted to do really well at what I've done. And I think that's just been very helpful in my career and hopefully I continue to have this energy and motivation. And I don't crash out.
Yeah, that's a lot of energy. I would say like back in the day, like probably 8 or 9 years ago, when John and I really wanted to start practicing dodgeball and being competitive, we would just go to Sky Zone because you could hit up all your friends. You could have like 15 dudes show up. It wouldn't be like a rec league at all. You have to worry about insurance or renting anything out. And it's always like something that I've thought of in the back of my head, but I'm like, that's a big leap. That's not something I really want to pursue.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, but I think what I've always been really lucky is I've always had a really good family support system. When I moved to Philly, I have a really good like friendship support system and dodgeball is family. And so when I started this, I hit a lot of bumps in the road and luckily everybody was super understanding. And still like we're still learning certain things that like work and don't work all the time. And it's because our players give us feedback and most of our players are our friends too. So like it's usually pretty honest and pretty blunt. So I think I've been really lucky in that sense.
Tough love. And you're from Massachusetts, right?
I am. Yep. Yep.
I forgot who was saying this, but someone was like, "Yo, Sam is fiery." I'm like, "Well, she's from Massachusetts and lives in Philly." So
Yeah, and I grew up in Dorchester, which is right outside of Boston. So I'm like, a little rough around the edges, but I'm super squishy on the inside. So
I think the first time you and I interacted, I think it was like Sin City when there was like that group of like 20 of us. And we went to what was it? Cat Meow, Frankie?
Meow Wolf.
Cat Meow.
Cat Meow.
And you were playing pool, and I looked over and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she could just break that pool stick and stab me with it.
I'm really happy I give off this energy. It's why my team's name is Aggression.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything to really just piggyback off of that. Let's talk about you, Frankie. So, Frankie, you're an OG in dodgeball and you're OG in Fortnite. You played in a bunch of dodgeball leagues like Elite, NDL, UDC, and now USA. What are some accomplishments that you've had?
Jesus Christ. I think probably the biggest one is that I'm still going. Like, I feel like I may not be the best player ever, but I've been playing at a high level for like 12 years now. So that's been pretty cool. On the court, I think my favorite win ever was way back in, let's go, I think it was 2016 with Team Awesome. We won an 8.5 game against Shooters in the finals. And like, a lot of games, some people are like, oh, like I played really well. Like I won that game for us. It was fucking sick. That was the one where I had like all the fucking leg catches and Mikey is just like screaming at his teammates to stop throwing. So that's probably the coolest one on the court. I do miss 8.5. Uh, Off the court, geez. Really happy with everything we're doing in Philly, obviously. Like, our community before used to just play in a local rec league that wasn't run by dodgeball people. And it had been, I don't know, 10 years of me kind of playing in and out of that league with some Team Awesome people or just like getting picked up by our random people that we play with now. And to have like something that's real and it's competitive, like we're definitely gonna have at least a player on each of the practice squads, I think, this year. Like that'll be fucking sick for Philly. We're allowed to curse, right? I'm gonna curse.
Fuck shit, fuck shit.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, just like what we're doing in Philly is awesome. I wish it was 10 years ago, but Sam didn't come into our lives too heavy for dodgeball until after COVID and decided to say, fuck that league, we're gonna make our own and yeah, big props to her for that. And then it's been really good to be able to support that and keep it growing. And I feel like in 2022, I would just like murder everyone in the league, which is hilarious because most of them are better than me. And now like my team's in last place this season and like it
Washed.
sucks. Yeah. But it's good. Like everyone's caught up. Everyone has at least a good understanding of strategy. There's so many talented athletes. So yeah. Oh my God. I don't know. I've loved all my teams and it's been really fun and definitely have played a lot and could talk for a million years about it, but those are definitely the two I'll go with.
Was this the league back in the day where you guys played in that warehouse?
No, that is Paper Factory. That was in Jersey with like Adam DeMeyer and Rebecca Forand all played in that league. We had tournaments there. We just had a league that was run by like it was called like Philadelphia Sports League, and then it was called something else that we won't name, but our group chat is named after. Um, yeah, so we left that league, started our own, and now it's like tripled. No, it's more than tripled in size. It's like 5 times what we first started with unique players. So.
Was this the league that Nar would travel and take the train to?
Yes, exactly. Nar used to play in the old league with us. He played in our league once, but he had like a weird experience and Ubered home and never came back.
Yeah,
He
he
did
He
come
told
to
me
the
switched to
about
never
this.
ball.
play.
He came to the ball though, or he came to the dodgeball.
Yes, and he won.
I was so upset that I saw him there because that was the baby shower, and I was like, "This is the one tournament I honestly can't go to, and I guarantee you he'll be there."
Yeah, I think he'll come again this year. He likes that kind of stuff. I don't think he likes the weekly grind, but you'll see Nar at tournaments and Steffi's always here too. So a lot of the old Team Awesome players are around in and out of our league. So you'll see a lot of them.
Yeah, John Arroyo started to travel again.
Yeah, he's like
Yes.
hardcore about it. And so is Noel. And Noel just like 2 months ago started like diving all over the place on the court and got really good. It's really
I
entertaining.
saw her flop on the ground on Tuesday, and I was like,
Yeah, it just like I don't know what happened. And it's hilarious
amazing.
because people will play them at tournaments. They'll be like, these guys, like whatever. And then John like cooks an athletic 21-year-old on the opening rush to the line and then like catches a counter and they're like, oh, this guy used to play.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. This is a little bit off topic, but I remember watching a series in mixed where I think her name is Olivia.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
Popped off
Liv.
at the end. I think it was like her against Ketchum and a few others.
They them is their pronouns.
Uh,
Yes, they did awesome. And they're just like it's so interesting because there are some people who like especially Lavender has been such a great pipeline for women because even like the social league has definitely been something like we had men, but sometimes it became mostly women. But our Lavender League has really created a pipeline of like women and non-binary players who maybe didn't feel have like a safe space playing with men, but like have really been able to shine. Like I refed our Lavender League championship last night, and I was like, "What is happening?" Like it's crazy, and we'll see it this weekend in East Coast. With we have a Supernova is one of the newer women's team coming out of Philly, so a lot of new talent, especially in like that space.
Yeah, for sure. I really take pride in knowing most of the players on the East Coast, and there's been a lot of new faces, especially from Philly, that I'm just like, I don't know this person, but they definitely know how to play.
Yeah, and they like are just fearless. And I think that's one of the things that like are it's like a great I don't know, thing to have in dodgeball when you're new is that you're fearless, you're gonna make mistakes, but to go up against like Team USA players, and I think that's the fun thing about dodgeball too, is that no one's invincible in this sport. So like you can get out by a rec player any day of the week, and it was just yeah, they're amazing to watch.
I definitely love that mindset. And yeah, so Nutmeg, we are 12 seasons in right now. And I would say like the first three or four, like I can go out pregame a little bit in the parking lot, maybe sneak in a tweet or two while I'm playing. Not play drunk, but borderline, right? And now we're 12 seasons in. We have 20, 25 people that are willing to travel to these tournaments. And these Wednesday nights, they're not like an easy win. It's like, hey, like you're gonna get challenged every single week. So like a few seasons ago, it's like, all right, there's 2 or 3 teams you gotta look out for. Now there might be like the newest team, the free agent team, but other than that, like every single week is a tough week, and I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can relate to that, especially like when we do our bring your own teams, the teams tend to be generally stacked, and the free agent teams do usually have a rougher ride. But we kind of balance that somewhat with having some veterans on those teams. But yeah, I mean, even on Tuesdays, like the standings don't always reflect like how a team is doing. Like Frankie's team is in last place, but they're still a really competitive.
Hmm. Do you guys ever work in like draft seasons?
Yeah, we do a ton of formats. I'm always playing around. I'll try to like go quickly through. So we've done draft where just captains pick their full teams. We've done remix where I make all the teams, and then Lavender's adopted that as well. So people just sign up as free agents. You put them on teams. You try to like use some math to make sure the teams are as even as possible with their self ratings and your own ratings of them. The Friday League we just did. I like discovered it when I was in New Zealand. They don't have enough for a full league, so they just like keep individual scores every week. Like they pretty much just do like competitive pickup. So it'll be like 16 people show up, they'll split into two teams of eight, they'll play for 2 hours and keep score. And if Ryan, your team beats my team like 11-4, and then next week we're on the same team and we win like 10-9, you now have 21 wins,
Oh,
13 losses, etc. So our league manager Steve did that for the whole season, kept track, put everyone on random teams each week, so that was really cool. Our upcoming Tuesday, we are stealing Long Island's idea and doing a franchise season. So it's a merge of BYOT and
mm,
draft. So we're gonna have captains select their core. We're keeping it small, like you, so four, and then probably drafting 6 or 7 additional players to round out the team. We just don't like to do the same format every season in a row. So we just are coming off a remix. We're doing a mix of draft and BYOT. We'll probably do another remix in the fall. Go from there.
okay, okay. I think we started working in draft seasons like season 6 or 7, and then we went every other, and until I want to say 2 seasons ago, but it's been a little bit since we've had a draft season.
Yeah. We like those seasons a lot. They definitely help with the vibe of the league, right? Like it can get too competitive sometimes, or teams don't like getting destroyed. It's not welcoming for newer players and free agents. And then also like it really disrupts any sort of personality issues and beef that people may have with each other. Like if you and I are yelling at each other and we're across the court and the next season we have to play together, like you figure it out or you lose. And like you'll see a lot of like relationships have been kind of fixed that way. It's kind of funny. They might not be best friends, but they're like cool now and they say hi and the rivalries get really tamped down. It's really funny.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And also, there's also like kind of how you said, if you don't like someone, then you're playing with them the next season, or if you have like a team that's like pretty new, but then the next draft season you have like one really good vet, and he can teach whoever that captain was on that lower tier team anything, and then they can bring it over to their team the next season, and then they can make the jump.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Let's talk about the Beast Coast tournament. So, Sam, explain to me like a 5-year-old, like I'm a 5-year-old, what the Beast Coast tournament is.
Imagine if all these adults who play dodgeball and spend all their money live on the East Coast and they play a sport called dodgeball and they all want to see how they compete with each other. And then they're going to compete with each other on Saturday. And then whoever wins gets a medal. And then they can say they're the best dodgeball player on the East Coast.
Can they say this for a year and then maybe the next year there's another one?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't really remember, Frankie, where this concept came from, but I just like I like the name Beast Coast. Like we've used it at work before, and I just liked it, and I was like that would be really fun. But yeah, basically we're gonna try to do it every year, similar to what Seattle does with the thing, and have it be invitation only, the best of the best from your city. In invite women's and open, and hopefully we really want to continue to grow it, so like we're learning a lot this year, even just about like who's invited, how many slots teams get, and then also like how the cities pick people. I mean, that's definitely something that we've run into like a little issue with our women's community has gotten big right now, and now we
Hmm.
have 4 teams coming out of Philly, 4 women's teams coming out of Philly. We have Aggression, happy to be here, Bananarka, and Supernova. And so like Aggression obviously got picked, Happy to Be Here got picked, but then like we kind of had to move things around and ask other people for the Happy to Be Here slot. Then it became Supernova. And so it wasn't really like an organized ask, where I hear like Boston did it a little bit different, where they like had somewhat of a tryout for their team. So like some of those nuances, I think like we're learning in real time. But yeah, it's going to be an annual event. And it's just really cool to have so many people coming and trying to bring their best talent, and like it feels similar in the sense, a similar vibe going into the thing, where it's like your team is coming to represent your city, you know.
Frankie, have anything to piggyback off of that?
Yeah, I think this was definitely Sam's baby, but I quickly was into it. What's really cool about this, obviously with the limitations, you can only play with people that play in your league. I think this will really help East Coast players improve when they go and travel at other tournaments, right? Because a lot of the best players in some of our leagues are playing on teams with other people. Like you and me definitely do this, Ryan, and even like Sam, you have some people that play outside of Philly that play on Aggression. So I think like the thing I'm most looking forward to with this tournament is how it's going to help leagues transition some of their players that are teetering on becoming competitive players into officially competitive players. Like we have 18 teams coming to this. It's like 8 per team, so that's what, like 144 people. I bet you like 120 of these are going to wind up being travel people if they aren't already, and that'll be sick. And obviously this year the focus is on just like running the event and making sure the dodgeball's good. Sam's doing a great job promoting. We have some good medals, some good swag, everything like that. But definitely looking to expand this and keep making it better and keep focusing on growing the East Coast and our dodgeball scene, which it's crazy. We have 7 different cities represented. There's more than 7 leagues technically, with the couple in New York. There's even a couple we missed that we can invite next year, and yeah, there's a lot of room to grow and make a really good product here.
So Sam, what leagues have been invited?
So we have, and if I miss anybody, I shouldn't, because I've been doing all the graphics. We have Atlanta Dodgeball Club, we have Nutmeg Dodgeball, we have LA Kick, Big Apple Rec Sports, we have Philly Dodgeball, we have Boston Dodgeball, and did I say Atlanta Dodgeball Club yet?
Yeah, it's the Maryland one I think you're missing.
Oh, DMB. How could I forget? DMB, Old Bays, which I had to look up the logo. I don't know if you saw it posted on Instagram, but they posted like the graphic of the roster, and then I saw the crab, and I was like, oh, Old Bays. I'm like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Am I supposed to understand that?
It's like seasoning, isn't it? Like Old Bay seasoning.
I don't know. Frankie?
We'll take Ryan to Chicky and Pete's when he's here.
You don't know what Old Bay seasoning is? That's what I assumed it was.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a joke on that. Plus, I think like right Chesapeake Bay as well down there.
And they're all over the age of like 36, so it's like old.
There's a couple. There's like a Fernald that's a baby. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they do have an older team. So there's what, eight teams per division, right?
We have.
So there's.
Yeah, God.
I was gonna say there's 10 open teams and 8 women's.
Okay. Yeah, I was going through the rosters, and yeah, Old Bays, and then what was the Rockefellers too?
That's New York, yeah.
Yeah. Just going through it, I'm like, I think I know a lot of these players, but definitely when I see them, I think I'm gonna recognize them.
But that's the cool thing about this, is that you're gonna get some people, like Frankie said, that like this is their first time that they're dipping their toe into a tournament, and they're going because the people that they play in a rec league with are going. Like there's names on here, like even some of the women that like I saw at like an open gym for the Boston Dodgeball League, but like I've never seen them at a tournament. So like it's gonna be really cool to see some new talent, and I think there's gonna be some shakeups, I think, because of that. So I'm really interested to see how it plays out.
We're bringing someone from Nutmeg who has played 2 seasons, and he's absolutely disgusting, and no one is going to know who he is other than Dylan, Nikki, and Bo.
Like that's amazing though. That's what the vibe we want coming into this. Like nobody knows our lavender girls. Like that's the best thing. Like, they know some of the people on aggression, but like people don't know who Jackie is on my team. Like they don't know who like Noelle is. Like that's what's like really good about this. Oh, Noelle's not even coming. Never mind. Nobody knows who Jody is. Like,
I don't know
so,
that. I definitely don't know who that is.
So it's good. It's a good thing.
And Frankie mentioned some swag. So there is jerseys that the winners will win, right?
Yeah, so Sam, you
No,
got it?
no, you go. You go.
One of the players in our Lavender League does a lot of design work. Her name is Erin. She does a great job. So she designed jerseys and they turned out really well. So after the event, we'll be ordering those for the winners. There's no other way to get these besides winning this tournament. So that's pretty cool. I think we stole that idea from FDC. Thank you. And then something with improving our local league, we finally got Philly Dodgeball branded medals, and they're pretty good. So we'll be giving those out as well. We'll have shirts on sale, kind of like commemorating the event. So it'll have all the leagues listed on the back and then just like the simple logo on the front. I think it's long sleeve black tees.
We have short sleeve and long sleeve.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of swag. There might be some other random stuff that Sam finds in her storage unit to sell, but those are the big highlights.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll have stickers and we'll have some game board shirts available, some Lavender League shirts available, some Pride stickers as well. So Pride months.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Did Aaron design those Bananarka jerseys?
Yes.
Those are sick. Those
They're
are sick.
giving an order actually, so if you are willing to talk to any of the girls on that team, you could try to get in. I think they're putting it in today.
Number one, I have a whole closet with nothing in it other than my dodgeball jerseys, and Hannah has been telling me you have to get rid of some. I have at least 70. I can't.
I have a team too.
Number two, I'm not talking to any girls, so go ahead,
Good.
Sam.
Sam just went on mute, so you're good there.
Yeah, go ahead. Just talk away. No, I was just gonna say they asked me and I really, really want to because it'll have the Philly Dodgeball logo on it, but I don't know. I haven't even been playing dodgeball that long, and so I can't even imagine, Frankie, how many you have at this point. But I just can't. I can't do it for the foreseeable future.
So this is a little bit of a promo, I guess, for the BDL. So the BDL Throwdown, the 4th edition, is going to be the day after the USA tournament. They are doing a jersey swap, like auction thing.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, it's got to be jerseys that you care about. You just can't throw in like random jerseys. And I have jerseys from like 2014. Like, no one would even know what it is.
They did that at a prior tournament. I gave them sick jerseys. I gave them like one of my last shred jerseys, like one of the wave ones. I gave them like a really old West Coast jersey. Oh no, it was a Task Force, like the white ones that looks super professional. So I don't know what I'm gonna give them this time. I've been debating giving them my only Bananarchy jersey because it's Boston, so I think they'd really appreciate that and bid it up pretty high.
They would love that.
Yeah.
I have a Doomsday jersey, but I'm keeping that.
Steve Major, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Kyle Harkins. All right. So we have some questions from the people, but these are going to be some questions from me. So we'll start with Sam. Sam, what got you into dodgeball?
I used to work at a camp when I was 13 with my best friend Hannah, and after we would it was like schools came and they would like stay at this camp. It's called Camp Borndale in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And after dinner, we would always play dodgeball. So I was like 13 and these kids were like about my age, but then I worked there till I joined the Navy at 19. And so eventually I got a little bit too old to be playing, but I was like, this is so fun. And then when I was in the Navy, we did it every once in a while. But I thought it was a blast. And then when I moved to Philly, I was just trying to meet new people. And I, for some reason, really loved volleyball at the time. I was really into it. And I tried to join volleyball, but the season wasn't available. And then I joined dodgeball because I was like, oh my God, that would be so fun. And then I met everybody, and that was in 2018. And I played every single season. someone convinced me to join a second day. Because the first time I was like, 2 days of dodgeball, that's crazy. But yeah, I've just been playing ever since. But that's what got me started was when I was like a kid. I never played it in school. Like it was, I don't know if it's banned in Massachusetts, but I know my niece and nephew don't play it. But I never played it growing like when I was a kid, really young. So yeah.
And Frankie, how about you?
Question for Sam though. If you're playing in the Navy, are you playing on boats? Like, do the balls ever roll in the
You know
water
I
when
wasn't
you
on
do?
a boat, Frankie.
Oh,
Okay, well, thank you for your service.
I hate you so much.
So I also started playing in a camp at the YMCA. We just used to play it as like one of the games we would play. And then once I became a counselor and people like the Frickers were kids, after lunch every day we would do like counselors versus kids and play like 6 on like 30 and just play for like an hour and everyone loved it. And coming out of that summer, the kids were like, "Hey, like, can we just do this as like a sports program?" So I did a dodgeball class and became a coach at the YMCA, where literally we just would like play dodgeball for 2 hours. Like parents would pay the Y money for me to just play dodgeball with their kids. And then I met the Bolgers, and then I met the G Vinkos, and here we are.
I have a question about the G vehicles later, but I do want to touch on this. So Sam Jones, Megan Fricker, and Ryan Fricker were like 9 years old.
Yeah, so I mean, I've actually known the Frickers since they were that young. By the time we were playing dodgeball, Ryan was probably 16 and Megan and Sam were like 14. So like baby teenagers definitely when they started playing. And like even when we would practice as adults, all the like really good 13 to 16-year-olds would be at the Sunday practices.
And Jeff was like 8.
Yeah. Jeff didn't come into play until because the Giovancos never practiced. Jeff really didn't come into play until he was closer to 18 and started taking it really seriously. Before that, he was just playing in like a church basement with like his brothers and Nar and people like that.
This is a little off topic, but Ryan Fricker with a beard, hot.
He'd
Yeah,
appreciate you saying that. He keeps saying that guys keep giving him compliments, but no girls.
Oh, I would
because
talk to girls.
dodgeball's pretty gay, so I don't. It's a compliment.
I would talk to girls and tell them to talk to him, but that's not going to happen. All right, here's another good question. I'll start with Sam. What made you want to take the jump from playing locally to starting to travel?
I was convinced by Rebecca Foran to play in this women's draft tournament, because she would always talk about traveling for dodgeball, and I was like, that's so goofy. And then she invited me to this women's tournament, and it was in Jersey. I'm sure Frankie, you were involved in some way in
I
that,
ran
but
it.
yeah, there you go. And I stepped on the line every single time. I was a detriment to my team. I was awful, but I had so much fun and I became like a way better player just from that one tournament. And then the world shut down. And then once the world opened back up a little bit, like all the women with Broad Street Bullies with that team, like all the women that like wanted to travel, we just put together a team. And then I've been traveling ever since. So that was like 2021. It was in Erie, Pennsylvania, one of the worst tournaments ever. But it didn't deter me. But yeah, I've been playing. It's fun. Once you catch the bug, it's hard. It's hard to not go.
Why was this a bad tournament?
Oh my God. It was not just it was for a few reasons. Like one, we decided we didn't want to stay overnight. So it was like me, Danica, Nikki, and Cassie in a car driving. Like, I'm not from Pennsylvania. I don't know how long it takes to get from Philadelphia to Erie. So like I'm like, oh, bet we're gonna take my Ford Escape and we're gonna drive to Erie, Pennsylvania, and then we're gonna come right back the same day, like a bunch of rookies. And we get out there and we play, and we just had like we had the right vibe, but zero skill or not zero skill, no strategy, no understanding of the concept. And there was only 4 women's teams. And then like
Ooh.
it felt like embarrassing is not the right word, but like I was frustrated. I was like, what is this sport? You can only get 4 women's teams to travel to a USA dodgeball tournament. Like, it didn't make any, it didn't connect. Like, the organizers tried to like do a showdown that was super fun. Like that was great. And we got a lot of playing time, but like, it was underwhelming. For sure. And we played cloth too, but didn't play any of the like world cloth rules, or it was foam dodgeball with a cloth ball, essentially. So it's like the next tournament I went to playing cloth, I was like, what are you talking like these what are these rules? So yeah, but like it was still one of those tournaments that like fortified my like love for dodgeball, and also like starting to build relationships with some of the women in Philly. So
I definitely feel that. So I just looked up where Erie was in relationship to Philly, and I assumed it was like maybe Pittsburgh area. No, it's 6 hours
no,
and 31 minutes away. It's
you've gone
literally
too
Erie.
far when you hit a Tim Hortons, and we hit a Tim Hortons, and I was like, oh no, we've made a huge mistake. And then they fell asleep. I'll never forget this. Danica and Nick, they're like, we're gonna stay up the whole time with you on the way back. They fell asleep, and poor Cassie stayed up with me and listened to murder podcasts. But it was like to turn around after playing all day, never playing a tournament like that is crazy.
It's rough. Yeah. I always take the ships for driving. So I drive to every tournament and I drive back. And I'm also a dad, so I don't really get a ton of sleep. So it's
Yeah,
like a bunch of coffee and energy drinks on the way home.
yeah, yeah. That was it.
Frankie, do you remember that Cleveland trip that we made?
Yes, that was awesome.
You, it was fun, but on the way back, it's like, all right, from Cleveland, Ohio to shit, I was trying to remember. Where did you live before?
Norristown, I'm still out there.
I think it was like 7 hours.
Yeah. In your were you driving the ugly butter colored Jeep then?
Yes. So Sean and I from Connecticut, we drove down, we picked you up,
And Jeff.
Jeff, and
At a hotel in the middle of Pennsylvania. We just left Jeff's car.
it was rough. And it's like, cool, just dropped him off. Now it's a cool 5 hour drive back to Connecticut.
Yeah. The Erie tournament, I also kind of had a bad time. The only fun part was scouting, and I had such a bad time that I had a free hotel room that Saturday night, and instead I went home with Rebecca, and she made that drive from Erie to Philly in like 5 hours. She drives fast.
She's
Damn.
from Jersey. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Red line in it.
Yes.
Crazy.
All right, Frankie, what made you take the jump from playing local dodgeball to traveling?
Yeah, so when I was doing that program at the YMCA, I had met Steve Bolger, who had a similar program in another YMCA, and he had just gotten back from his first nationals, which was NDL back in the day, where he played on Team Awesome with the Giovincos and some other guys. And so our kids started like playing against each other in little tournaments. And then we'd go to like local charity tournaments where it'd be like me and Steve and then like 4 13-year-olds against like college baseball players. And we'd like destroy them. And he was like, hey, you should like come play with me for real. So I started doing a couple local tournaments. I was on like the B Team Awesome team. And then I went to my first nationals in I want to say 2012. And like I was also really young. I mean, Christine and I were 22 and 21, or maybe 23 and 22. And it was in Vegas. So it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this random activity and we're gonna go to Vegas for the first time. Christine made like a huge itinerary of here's the buffets we're gonna do and here's the activities we're gonna do. And we like did a helicopter and we stayed at Mandalay Bay instead of like cheap ass Palace Station. And yeah, it was just like wanted to do that, and then the traveling was really cool, so we kind of used it as an excuse to travel a lot for 15 years now.
It's funny when you say kids because you're going to be a dad in like 5 months.
Yeah, not even less than 3.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Yeah, due date's August 31st.
Wow. Do you think that, is there any chance that Christine could maybe push the baby's birthday back like 3.5 weeks so we can have the same birthday?
I thought you were going to make a different joke. I'm happy that's what you went with. No, I don't think so, that she can hold the baby for 3 extra weeks. I think she wants to be not pregnant as quickly as possible and then probably never pregnant again. So,
All right. Just tell her to shoot for September 23rd and
got
then
it.
baby name Ryan.
No.
You still don't know the name, right? Or
No, we know the name, but yeah.
okay,
We do not know the sex of the baby, so the name has a little bit of fluidity to it with like an A or an O at the end. So
okay,
I'm not
crazy,
gonna announce it
crazy,
on the
but
bromance podcast,
yeah, there's
but
gonna be like 7 people that are gonna be like, dude, I know Frankie's kid's name now.
yeah, feel free to send in your guesses. It's Italian for the first name and it'll be Korean for the middle name. If you get it right, I'll Venmo you $100.
I don't think that's true because remember that Pittman, New Jersey tournament last year where you're like, whoever catches me in $5 or something like that.
I sent $5 to Michaela, I'm positive.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah, we always do that at tournaments. Or no, I don't do that if I'm supposed to be on staff or something, but if I'm not on any sort of staff, I always do that kind of stuff at tournaments.
Insider gambling.
Yes.
All right, Sam, what is your favorite city you've played dodgeball in?
Well, besides Philly, let's say besides Philly. Favorite city. I mean, Seattle was just, I mean, I went to the speak between Seattle and Toronto, honestly. Like Seattle was amazing. I mean, shout out to Lucas and that whole team that runs that. That was just such a well-oiled machine. Like I felt like your questions were answered before you asked them. Like you knew where you needed to be. The gyms were set up, they were organized, they looked professional. But I mean, like Toronto is like the best of the best of the best. I mean, they have a media room, they've got sponsored like VC Ultimates there. Like the courts look great. Refs are paid. Volunteers are not volunteers, they are paid. Like they have apparel, they have live streaming, and every court is like has a GoPro on it. Like you
Oh
can
wow.
if you have you never been to Toronto?
No,
You
I
have to go. Oh my God.
it sounds fun. I have watched tournaments before, but I personally don't really have the motivation right now to travel outside the country.
Yeah,
For
fair.
certain things, yes, but
Yeah.
I definitely it's definitely on my bucket list.
Aren't you
Yeah, and
trying
like
out for Team USA?
That's why I answered it that way.
Do
I
you have your
said for certain
passport?
things. Yes,
yeah,
because yeah, for our honeymoon a few years ago.
Okay, good.
but I know I'll just say this too, like with the women's division, it is so like empowering, I guess you could say. It sounds like it's like a goofy word, but like it's really cool to see like the women's talent another level. Like that the Canadian women are like no other. That's why my Toronto team this season next month, I have like half Canadians. I was like, I want Canadian free agents because their rec free agents are probably like on another level. So like I am like so excited about my team, but like the first time I went to Toronto last year, like Frankie has been saying, you need to go, you need to go. I was like, oh my God. But it makes you better. Like, you know, we got our ass kicked, I think by I think it was oh my God. The ones with the black and green, I forget the names, but like they pushed us. Oh, Reckless. They pushed us to be a better
Oh,
team. And I think that's why we did better at the thing because they pushed us to be better as players. So yeah.
Yeah, the thing sounds sick. I was listening to the Rushdown podcast again today with the
Yeah.
Lucas episode.
Yeah.
I really hope that Flake gets, invited, top 8. I really want to go because that sounds very fun.
Yeah, it's also just like cool to see other talent from Canada, and Seattle's also just a really great city to just like hang out into.
There was one guy I played against at Nationals. I forget his name, but he's bald. And it's not Joshua Hustis.
Is he from Seattle?
No. He's from Canada. I think his name starts with an R.
was he on
I
our team? He was on Shred. It was Roe.
Yes, yeah. I'm like,
Romain
hey,
Liebel.
I'm like, what is he really good at? And they're like, everything. I'm like, what's he not good at? Like, what's one flaw? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna line up against him. I'm going in like blind here.
He's on Mavs. He's very good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, all those teams are really good. Saying Mavs, Royals. Frankie, how about you? What is your favorite city you've played dodgeball in?
Okay, so tournaments would be Minneapolis Nationals 2018. Seattle, the thing, my first year. That experience was awesome. That was the first thing too, 2022. And then any of the Toronto ones. Non-tournaments would be whenever we travel, we try to go. So we've played in Auckland, New Zealand, and Tokyo, Japan as well now. So
How's that?
It's cool. The New Zealand League, it was like pretty small, but it was very competitive. And then the Tokyo one, it was kind of like an offspring of WeHo Dodgeball, so it was like social, no sting, and like more of a vibe than competitive, but like highly recommend, really fun. And there were some talented players too that kept singling me out, and I had to start taking it seriously.
And Nationals this year is in New Orleans. And Nationals in like what 2015, 2016 was in New Orleans too.
2016, yep.
Yeah, it's definitely a city that I'm very excited to go to.
Yeah, New Orleans is dope. It does kind of suck in the summer because it's fucking hot and humid. But you guys will have fun. I obviously won't be there.
New dad.
I know. That day, it might literally be while you guys are playing. The due date is Friday of Nationals.
Oh, Frankie's gonna be
Amazing.
texting me Friday asking for advice already.
Yeah, 100%. You guys will be texting me asking me for dodgeball advice.
He's gonna be asking me dad advice. I'm saying use Chat GPT, buddy. Sam, for people who are looking to get better, what's some basic advice you can give them?
Practice. I know that that's so silly, but like the only way you're gonna get better at tournaments is if you go to tournaments and you have to practice playing dodgeball. Like a lot of the girlies on Wednesday, they want to get better at throwing a ball. And I always say to them, like, you just need to throw. Like you just need to throw. It's all about repetition. It's all about like getting in those reps in. And then just like overall fitness. Like if you want to be a better thrower, a better player, and be able to add more power to your throws and be quicker on the court, just calisthenics, general overall fitness. I don't think people need to overcomplicate it. But like when I was preparing for Worlds, I looked up a lot of baseball videos of how to like prepare for like getting my arms stronger and like but a lot of it is like the basics like pull-ups, deadlifts, squats, basic weightlifting, and just really running. So but you just have to get those reps in. You just have to go to tournaments, honestly.
Just a lot of endurance and what works for you because there's people at Nutmeg that will be like, hey, when you throw, you don't really step a lot, but there's like still a lot of velocity. How do you throw? And I'm like, this is how I throw, but it may not work for you, and you may find
Right.
something that works better for you.
Right. And over time, like a lot of us who grew up playing sports, we have a lot of like external rotation. So we can bring our arms really far back and we can, put a lot more power behind it. But some players didn't grow up doing throwing sports. So like their bodies have to acclimate to be able to throw the way that they will be able to get power. But also like if you're not a thrower and you like know that you're never gonna be, capitalize on other skills. Like become a catcher or become that fearless player that like just goes up to the line and gets balls. I mean, Frankie did a really good job at like building up a lot of the happy to be here women to capitalize on. Maybe they weren't the best throwers, but they capitalized on being more strategic and smarter. And that has brought them a lot further, I think. And they're competitive. So
Yeah, no, I agree. How about you, Frankie?
Yeah, so I'll go brain since Sam went kind of like athletic there. The biggest thing you can do when you're playing to get better is just be patient. And I mean like while you're playing dodgeball, you're learning what people do, or maybe if it's not a specific person, you're like, oh, this person plays like someone else I know. So like if you try to put it all into like one moment right there, you might win, you might not. But if you like kind of wait it out and survive and pay attention, like you'll start figuring out how to beat people who throw really well, people who block really well, people who catch really well, people who are fast, people who are slow, all this kind of stuff. So definitely just like be patient, be aware, and start learning how to kind of extend the game and then beat people.
That's good advice. Whenever someone asks me, I always tell them, learn how to ball block because if you can survive, you can literally just pick people off little by little. And people are going to make mistakes. You could just capitalize on it so easily.
Yeah, for sure. Like you'll just find tendencies. And again, you don't need to know every person, but I can see someone play for like 2 minutes and be like, oh, this person plays exactly like Sam Jones. Okay, well, how do I play against Sam Jones? Let's do this.
Frankie is like Rain Man of dodgeball strategy, and we coined this term. I'm sure Frankie you know about this, but like whenever someone's franking a game, it's when they're just they're just backing blocking, and they're just like chilling and they're relaxing and they're just milking the time. They're just working the clock. They're milking the time. They're like, guys, Frankieing the game. And
He's got his tongue out.
It's not even Frankie sometimes. It's someone that Frankie is like trained. Like it's a perfect way to win a match. But you have your own term now, Frankie. And the Frankie penalty box.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
I'll save my comments for that.
We're gonna get to that. So when we were in Minnesota for mixed for the very first round of the playoffs, we were trying to find Frankie and we couldn't find Frankie. And we're like, where's Frankie? Someone's like, Frankie is too busy coaching. I think you guys, Sam, you guys got knocked out early.
Oh,
and
so bad.
yeah,
I wasn't coaching.
That's what I was told.
Horrified.
He was watching and being like, you guys are doing really bad. They're like, yeah, we fucking know, Frankie. Fuck.
I kept my mouth shut. That was a heated game and not for the right reasons. Like, no, it was no shame to either team. It was just like how that game was run made it very stressful.
Mm-hmm. Sam, you know how in our huddles we say, I don't have friends, I have family?
Yeah.
And then we say slay?
Yeah.
It was fuck Frankie, slay.
And I'm sure the happy to be here girls were very happy to say that.
Yes.
And then we kept winning, and you can't change it because if you do, you're going to lose.
Yeah, we couldn't change it. And I was like, damn, I really want to change it, but we just can't, guys.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. That's crazy.
Sam, favorite ball type?
Foam. Yeah, foam. I mean,
Least favorite ball type?
Oh, man. I mean,
there's only one right answer.
I can't say 8.5 because I only played 8.5 in Sin City twice in the second year I did it. I was like, what am I doing? And no, I hate playing no sting, but I'm like really good at it because of the curve. Like I can get the ball, it's heavier and it moves, which I feel like is somewhat challenging. So like I have the cap on that, but I really don't like playing no sting. Cloth, I'm like, I had a really bad time at Cloth this season, in Minnesota, like a really bad time. I didn't have fun. They put me in corner. We were missing Jill McKenna. So like I had to do stuff. Normally I'm a middle princess. So I just like sit in the middle and I go for catches or I get out or, whatever. But yeah, long-winded answer, but those are my feelings.
Sam also has a nasty slider.
Is that what it is? I don't know. Sam K, who you'll see this weekend, he taught me how to do curveballs and he used to be a pitcher. So he taught me how to do it. So I don't know what they're called, but thank you.
Yeah, I could see you walk up to the line, you have it like set up. And me personally, whenever I play against you, which it hasn't really happened too much, but you're one of those players that you don't really throw fastballs, you throw sliders. So when you do throw a fastball, I think that's when you catch people off guard.
Yeah, and so the thing is though, if I play mixed, I'm always usually throwing curve because my fastballs are I played softball, so I can't get them down. They're always like at the chest. So I only really do fastballs on two curves. Like and it's predictable now, but it's like, I sometimes don't even know where it's going to land. So it's kind of fun to see it kind of do its own thing.
See where the ball breaks.
Yeah.
How about you, Frankie?
I have a cop-out answer. I really don't prefer or dislike any ball type. I just hate playing two ball types in one day. No, honestly, I like all of them. Like, if I can hold the cloth balls, I love cloth. I love 8.5. I love no sting. I love foam. Like, they're all good. I definitely would prefer foam just because I think the game is a little more fun. But I love watching competitive cloth, and I like playing it. And I really don't dislike playing any of them. I just hate playing two ball types in one day.
Can we
Whatever's the second ball type, that day is my least favorite.
Can we eliminate that? Like that needs to be like people need to fill out the survey after these tournaments because playing two ball types in one weekend is health wise, I don't think it's good for you. I also think like if we're trying to get better at a ball type internationally and or you want like people who are just exclusively no-sting people to come and you want them to sign up for both divisions, like we should just do a no-sting weekend or just do a foam weekend or just do cloth. Like, anyways.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Especially with these new batted balls. These balls are a little bit more denser. For someone who has a big arm, like I personally like throwing those balls. but I could see how going from that to no stinger for that to cloth in Minnesota was rough for people.
You didn't play cloth either.
I'm never gonna play cloth again.
Smart.
So that's your least favorite ball type?
I dislocated, tore a ligament, and
In your finger.
fractured, yeah, my pinky, and it's fucked up.
For life, like you feel like you never can move it right again.
Yeah, it's been like a year and a half, and it just does not close into a fist anymore. It's just, it's gross. So I can't even throw a cloth ball. I could throw a cloth ball lefty, but not righty.
Oh, wow. It is amazing to watch, though. I will agree with Frankie on that. Like when I went to Worlds this past year, like watching Austria in that gold medal match was like, and like watching the men's off team. I mean, it was just it's so entertaining. Like it's so entertaining. And I've never seen women throw a cloth ball like that until I got to the world stage. And I was like, there was one woman I was like, I need to talk to her. Like I wanted her jersey so bad, but she threw it so hard. And I was like, this is crazy. I've never seen a woman throw a cloth ball like that ever.
I respect women. Oh my gosh, that was weird. Oh my god.
I like the butt after that. Keep going.
But
I respect people who play cloth, but it's not for me. I was watching in Minnesota, and I'm in the stands, and I was like, dude, I'm scared. I'm not even playing.
yeah, it's a mess.
What other questions do I have? Sam, favorite tournament. So it could be like a standoff tournament, or it could be one that's ran every single year.
Yeah, I'd have to. I mean, again, I'd have to go with the Toronto or the thing. I mean, yeah, those are the best tournaments in my opinion that I've been to.
Frankie?
Toronto, and I would go with kickoff over midseason because I love that you go up in the middle of the winter and it's like snowing and you're in Canada and it just like feels like you're at a Canadian tournament.
And
You
it
have to
snowed really bad this past
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, but it was like bad for us, but not bad for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Massachusetts, but like I've never seen this before. They had snow plows on the sidewalk with like one person because I was walking to Tim Hortons because I have a coffee addiction, and I was walking in the snow, and it was like not 5 inches, like a few inches, whatever. And there's just a guy beeping, and he's right behind me in a little plow for the sidewalk. Like Canada's different.
It's just normal up there for them.
Yeah.
All right, one last question for me. And actually, you know what? No, I didn't. Did I ask you this? No, I did ask you, Frankie, right? You said it was Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, one last question. This is just for Frankie. And it was going to be a kill, fuck, marry, but I'll keep it PG. Rank the Giovincos.
Okay. Am I ranking them as dodgeball or what?
However you want to. And then we can interpret it however we want to.
Oh, spicy.
Oof. Okay, I'm doing in their primes if it's dodgeball. It's so hard.
Do you want to hear my three and then you can go?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, Chase Giovinco, Danielle,
Darnell?
and then Greg.
Okay, you've never even met Greg. He's a wonderful artist. He published a book.
I know of him though.
True. I feel like peak Jeff has it now, but peak Drew was a fucking baller. They argue, like even Jeff thinks Drew at his peak was better than Jeff now, but
Really?
talent definitely Jeff, Drew, Matt. However, if it's just any sport, Matt is good at fucking everything. Like we did like volleyball once and Matt was like crushing people. But yeah, definitely Jeff, Drew, Matt.
I was telling someone today about that Boston 2019. I think it was elite.
Yeah, the round 3. Yeah.
When Matt literally tore his ACL and they were picking him on and off the court.
Yeah, we played you in finals after we already won rings, and Matt played on his knees and won a point. And then the next point you guys just hit him first. So then every point after that we didn't play Matt. And it came down to game 7, 5-on-6, you little fuckers.
Yeah, so I caught Jeff back in and it was a 1v1 Matt versus Jeff for a while. And then Jeff gave up the catch to Matt because he literally couldn't do anything else but catch a ball.
Yeah.
And then the next game, I'm like, hey, we're murdering Matt. We're doing like a seize play on him. He's never gonna see it coming. And then you were literally like, okay, he can't play anymore. All right, questions from the people. This first question is from Abuelito Torito. Frankie, how many double catches have you been a part of, and why do you like throwing them so much?
Interesting person that's from. In my life, I've only caught one double catch, and it was a foam pickup practice I was running, and it was Jeff and Jordan Shelley. So get fucked, both of you. And then I've only thrown one, and it was this week to Alex Baez, who can't even eat peanuts, so I'm not that mad about it. Um, but yeah, I like it happened, and I went to Sam after. I was like, "Hey, you filmed our game, right? You should probably go find the double catch that Alyssa and I threw to Alex." And it was up within like she put it up in like 8 hours.
I
I don't
cannot
think,
tell you how excited I was when I got home. I opened my GoPro and then I looked for it and I edited it and it was 1:30 in the morning. And I was like, I said to my boyfriend, I was like, should I post it right now? I was like, I was so giddy, I was so excited. And I was like, fuck because you're supposed to post at certain times. I'm like, I don't really believe that. So I just posted it. I was like so excited because the reactions were the best. Like, and I didn't even realize it was Frankie until like because I only saw Alyssa. Like I didn't really see it until I was like fully editing it and I was like, oh my God, that's Frankie. That's crazy. It's even funnier.
yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
that was brutal.
Whenever I see a double catch, I obviously am like, who caught that? And then I'm always like, who threw that? And when I saw it was Frankie, I started dying. So Abuelito Torito, that is a good question.
Great
Great,
question.
great question. That's a Ryan McCombs. Happy to be here. Mixed name. So sounds like you had another question.
No, that was it. Question from Matt Spadone. What is your Mount Rushmore of dodgeball players? Doesn't have to be the best players, but the most important. We'll go with Sam.
Like ever.
Yeah, ever.
Like I don't really understand. Like it's like what would like if I put together a team of six, like what would that team be?
No, like your top four of like your goats. So like they don't have to be the best players. Maybe like
Oh
idols or people you just think of when you think of dodgeball.
Wait, this is great. Pause. Sam, Mount Rushmore, like the presidents in
no, I know
South
what Mount
Dakota.
Rushmore
All
is.
six of them.
I went to public school, but I'm not an idiot. So for me, I think like it's been an interesting journey with being on like Team USA and meeting so many different like women. But I will say that the first person that like I tried to emulate their styles. So like first was like Alyssa Pandolfi. I think she just recently um came off of or it's like I think she's like having a baby or something like that. But her style was something that like when I was trying out, like I wanted to emulate. Paige Peterson, I think is just a dog. She's just like a savage. When she plays, she's really, really, really talented. Um, and then you'll know the Canadian women better than I do, Frankie. There is I don't know her name. That's terrible. Like she played on she's on Valkyrie. She's she throws really hard. She usually plays in the corner. Is it Fisher?
Jenna Flanagan?
Flanagan.
Yeah,
I
she
really
throws
like
hard as fuck. She's a softball player. Like she
She in
yeah.
probably throws
Minnesota. Was
harder
she
than
in
all of us.
Minnesota?
No,
No.
no.
There was a girl in Minnesota who threw crazy hard.
There's a couple Team Canada girls there, like Tara Flatt and Katie Breedy, and probably and like Taylor Ewell for mixed, but no, Jenna Flanagan. I don't think she'll travel to the same place twice, so she doesn't go to a lot of tournaments.
But she is like
Disgusting.
she throws really, really hard. And it was fun playing against them at the thing because I hadn't really played against her very often. And I would say probably like honestly any Team Canada woman you could put in in that float spot, I think is like so talented. Yeah, those are like those four.
Okay. Frankie, it can't be you, by the way. It can't just be four Frankies.
I don't think I'd put myself on that. I'm pretty self-aware. Okay, so we're gonna keep it US, because if we didn't, we'd have to mention everybody who's like pillars of their community in other countries. Okay, so first would definitely be Nate Kreider. I mean, Captain of Doom, the one that kind of architected the current meta of dodgeball. And just like, not only was he good, but he was always like, he's very, like, on the court, he would fight with people, but he was always very kind off the court. Like, he's a good human, and you can tell. Um, One that's still playing is Pyan. Like, he is a fucking alien. I don't understand why he is still this good and good at everything. And he doesn't look like he should be, and he just is. I mean, he was probably the best player, arguably, in the world for a couple years. So that was really cool. So definitely those two. Um, I don't think you can talk about like best ever in the US and leave off Tim Fullerton from Rise. He kind
Mm,
of he kind of stopped playing once. Like he played here and there with Anarchy, but he hasn't really played like he used to. But I mean, Rise was the most dominant team in I can't say the world, but at least in the US for
I
a
forgot
very
about
long
Tim.
time.
Yeah, I forgot about Tim. That's a good one.
So definitely him. I mean, it took like Doom making a super team and stealing Pyan for them to like really start beating up on Rise. Not on
What
track.
team? What team was Pyan on?
Pyan was on Rise.
Oh, okay.
Both Pyan and William and Casey, like all these people were on Rise.
I've only gotten to play against them in UDC in like 2014, and then that Austin round for nationals.
Yeah. Oof. I mean, I'm definitely going more talent than importance, but I don't think competitive dodgeball would be what it is in the US without Mark Acomb. And like, he was good. Not like crushing people on Team USA, but I mean, he made Elite Dodgeball, and that was the best national organization we've had so far. Not saying
Hmm.
others won't top that eventually, but and yeah, I'll stick to like guys in the US. I think if you start expanding it, you could do a Mount Rushmore for both the different like divisions, and yeah, we'll go with those four.
That's a good four. I would definitely have to personally put Drew Giovinco in mine because I remember living at my parents' house, 16, 17 years old, watching Sky Zone highlights. And back in the day when you could play with sneakers and gloves on the court and seeing Drew. And like there was that one Dodging Hunger tournament where I played with him. And I'm like trying to not fangirl, but I'm like, dude, I'm traveling because of him.
Yeah,
And
he
it's crazy.
he was definitely the best player on the East Coast for a while. Other people I was considering was definitely like Vince for what he did for exposure, and he was also on all these dominant teams. And then Dylan Oden's a good one too because he kind of like bridged the gap between like old school and new school. Obviously, if you did it like current, you'd have all the Elijahs and the Dylans and Jeffs, etc. But I'll stick with the old heads for my answer.
And definitely Glenn is another good one to bring up.
Yeah, Glenn and Mark. Glenn used to organize a lot for Elite, and he's still around too. It's like Glenn and Pioneer, the dinosaurs that are older than me.
Question from Mackenzie. Who are the teams and what are some players to watch out for this weekend? We'll go with Sam first.
Yeah, I can do the women's division first. So we have Venom, Austonia, Empire. So actually I can go back and say where they're from. So Venom's Long Island, Austonia's Boston, Empire, Gridlock, and Apple of My Eye are all New York. District Divas is DMV, Aggression, and Supernova are Philly. I think there's some interesting players. I think like Bostonia has Sammy Barrett and Amanda who've been playing for quite a bit of time and they bring a lot of experience. Same thing with Kate Kearns. Like they've been at like nationals, they've traveled for years and years and years. And so I think they bring a lot of experience and they don't really travel that much anymore. So like I think a lot of women's teams that travel right now, like even us with aggression, like I've seen them play, but like most of the girls on my team definitely haven't. Empire, I mean, Sarah Wood is one of those players that I think she's underestimated a lot, but really is very talented. Sierra Ortiz on Venom is definitely has a really strong arm. Is definitely one of those players to look out for. And I would say probably like just looking at the rest of the list, like, I mean, I'm always gonna say that like aggression, like I think that we're one of the top teams going into this for women's, obviously. And like Danica has been really working on her accuracy and role playing as like the middle player, and same thing with Nikki, and like Alyssa is just a savage in the corner, and she's grown so much.
Yeah,
Can you play with her for sorry, what is it called again?
semi-pro. So yeah, she was on semi-pro last year, and her and Noah started playing, and I actually don't even think that they were dating yet.
Oh, funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, she from the first tournament I watched her play, I'm like, she's definitely talented. And then like 4 tournaments in, I'm like, she's already really fucking good.
Yeah.
Um, and then she was moving down to Philly. I'm like, I'm happy because she's gonna play a lot of dodgeball down there, and you guys are gonna teach her a lot.
Yeah, and we love playing with her. She's such a team player, and she's just so accurate. Like she's so accurate, and she throws really hard. And she just picked right up on our vibe. But like I think that those are the kind of the people to watch out for. New York tends to be very scrappy. So I think they somewhat are underestimated going into tournaments, and like they are bringing a lot of talent to this tournament. So but there's, yeah, those would be the people that like just looking. Oh, and Anna on District Divas is Team USA cloth. She catches everything, so she's a player to look out for as well.
Okay, is Mackenzie playing this weekend from Boston?
Yes,
Yes.
Mackenzie. Yep. Mhm.
Okay, cool. I drafted Mackenzie for our Boston League, and I'm very happy to play with her. Frankie, how about you?
Okay, so on the men's side, or open, sorry, we have 10 teams. There's two from Long Island, there's in Long Island, and a bunch of bullets. From Philly, we have Filthy and Bananarchy. We have Old Bays from DMV. I think the Atlanta team is just Atlanta. So Atlanta Dodgeball Club from Atlanta Dodgeball Club.
Whoa.
From Connecticut, we have Nut and Meg, definitely the best team name. We have Bostonia from Boston, and then we have Rockefellers from New York. So, being honest, I think finals odds probably are Filthy and in Long Island. I think those are the deepest, like highest talent teams. But there's tons of good players scattered around. Like Atlanta, Aaron is having such a year that he could just like blow this tournament up. And then he still has some of his travel players with him, like Pierce and Chris. So like if they're running corner and Aaron's just like crushing the rush and trading up a lot, like I
If
think I think Atlanta could knock out one of the really good teams. Um, Boston's interesting. They don't have some of the guys they were supposed to have, but they brought a lot of their really good rec league players that don't travel as much. Like it's not just like the heist guys and the couple anarchy guys. Like they have Kyle Hood coming out, and he's really good, and I like watching him play.
Love Kyle. Oh my
hmm
God, I played with Kyle on one of the teams we were on for BDL tournament. He's so fun to play with. Like
Yes,
hilarious.
I'm
love
so happy
Kyle.
he's coming. So he's a good one there. I don't know the New York people super well. Obviously, I know Tenny because he's been at every tournament in the world recently. And then I also know Chris Carter because we play with his brother. But they're bringing what looks like to me some newer players. But it's a New York team, so like don't be surprised if they're just better than the average team when you don't know them. Like they'll probably catch well, they'll probably have good teamwork.
That's what I'm assuming too.
Yeah. Yeah, like to me, really, there's like two teams that are like top to bottom really good with Filthy and in Long Island. And then there's teams that have a lot of like players that can just like pop off and maybe ruin someone's day. Old Bay has like Chaz. They have Heat. Yeah, there's a lot of like good players. I just think those teams are definitely the standout.
hmm Yeah, I think on Long Island has the most talented team, and I think Filthy has the most chemistry. And that's what I was telling my team 2 days ago, where I'm like, hey, like Filthy's deep, and they have what, like 7 or 8 USA tournaments under their belt altogether.
Yeah, and a lot of these teams, like, so it's fun how each city or each league did their teams because Philly generally just sent their existing teams. Like Connecticut, it looked like you guys put effort into kind of like making all the teams viable. Like it wasn't like you just like super stacked one team or just made one team of people that played together. So it's different. It's like really interesting how everyone approached it. So obviously Philly will get the chemistry advantage, but could the team be more stacked? I don't think so, but maybe it could have.
But there's also like Bananarchy has some rec
Yeah.
players that don't travel that I think are gonna like the guy who taught me how to do a curveball is on Bananarchy and he's
Ryan,
really
what's your
good.
nickname for Sam K?
Oh my God.
Who?
Sam K. This is who she's talking about. I think you
Uh
call him Han Solo.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I always love when we do
An
Philly tournament because
ableist.
he's so good and people underestimate him. Like he has like one of the best throws.
And
Yeah.
Obviously the
they
power
have
doesn't
Chris
compete, but he can make every throw and he's accurate. And
he
So
can
he's
move the
playing.
ball.
yeah, this will be a
Yeah,
really good version of Bananarchy because they also picked up Chris DeJesus because he plays in Philly now.
Hmm.
And they have like their regular roster adding like Sam Bryant and Chris DeJesus and Sam K.
Yeah,
So
the Alex and stuff. So yeah.
yeah, it'll be a good version of their team. I'm excited. I hope they knock anybody that's not us out.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it'll be really good. There's definitely like talent on every team. Some teams are obviously deeper or have better chemistry, but I don't know. And like women's side, I have no idea who's going to win. Like looking at the teams, it's really fun. I think there's a lot that can happen with the teams that are going. Like, I don't think any team is bringing a perfect team. So I think that just like the seeds going into playoffs will not dictate who wins the women's bracket. I think it's going to be a really fun bracket. And we actually spaced out finals so that open and women's aren't going at the same time. So you'll be able to watch both finals as long as we stay generally on time.
So probably should have asked this a lot sooner, but 20 minutes round robin. And then what about the playoffs?
Same. We're just keeping it the same throughout.
Okay, cool. Single or double?
Actually, I might be flipping that. Hold on, let me.
yeah, I thought
So it's
that's
single elimination. It's definitely 20 in round robin. I wonder if I fit 30 for playoffs.
I thought we did because we wanted to make it we decided longer games,
We did
shorter
fit 30 for
season.
playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
a day. So they're really going to be getting close to the competitive experience. A lot of these players coming in. So
Hmm. Question from Dan Hood. Does the worst performing team at the Beast Coast get erased from the multiverse?
no,
Yes.
they'll as long as their league is sending the same number of teams next year, they'll be welcomed back and hopefully they'll have had time to marinate and grow and do better the next year.
But I don't even think like looking at these rosters, both men and women, I don't think anyone's gonna get browbeat. I think like there's enough talent spread out throughout all these teams that it will be competitive. So yeah.
Yeah, like looking at the rosters and everything, I think that there might be like a clear top two or three. But honestly, I think anyone could win, and I don't really think that there's a clear bottom two or three either.
I agree completely.
Last question. I don't know how to say this guy's last name. Steve Mugaruk.
Sam, you got it. I always say it
No,
wrong.
you got it.
Oh,
It's
so you guys can't
McGorick.
say it either.
Isn't
I
it
always say
McGorick?
McGurk or McGorick.
McGorick.
Steve M says, "How does it feel for Frankie to have the Frankie Box Jewel named after him?"
Okay. So it feels good for one reason. So obviously, like at the world's level, they're very strict with the retrieving or shagging rules. And we would love to do that in the US. But we had to write the rules in a way that accommodates and is fair to like how we play on the US. So teams sometimes only had 6 people. And it would be great if just like a reffing team or another friend team would come and retrieve balls for them, but it's not always the case. So between that and then the issues we had with people coming in out of order, this was kind of like what we settled on. So you have a queue that you're managing, and then you have a system for retrievers. I don't like it being named after me, obviously, because that's kind of silly and I don't need that attention. I affectionately call it the juice box, but if you guys want to call it the Frankie box, that's fine too, as long as people are in it and managing their queue. I don't think we had anyone come in out of order that I'm aware of, so it's doing its job, and I'm happy for that. Call it whatever you want.
I always make fun of people that are in it, and I call them losers.
Yeah, it's the shame box for sure.
Loser, you got out first. Haha. Is that going to be a rule this weekend?
Yeah, we're gonna have like all the USA rules. I don't see why we would treat it
Okay,
any differently.
cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty much it. Do you guys have any plugs or shout outs before we end the episode?
When are you releasing this?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay. So we're not streaming the tournament, so people won't be able to watch too much,
Wow,
but
I did figure out how to
oh,
stream on my GoPro.
Ooh,
we
So
might stream a quarter two.
we will definitely be able to stream the finals
how many
because
courts will there be, Sam?
4.
Okay, if the Wi-Fi is good, I will stream. Because
Okay.
I try to stream I stream Minnesota, but if the Wi-Fi is good, I will do it. If it's not, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, I've never streamed before, so that's why we haven't been putting it out like guaranteed streaming. But we have an extension cord coming. I talked to the school, like we're trying to get it set up at least for finals, in the best case scenario for playoffs. So, and we have a photographer coming. We haven't promoted that, but we have a professional photographer coming, JM. He takes a lot of he's our dodgeball photographer. But no, I mean, like, final plugs. I just want to shout out all the leagues again for like coming to the tournament. This is like, I feel like this is such a good moment for us on the East Coast to like compete against each other, beat the shit out of each other, but also like build up community too at the same time. So yeah, and just thanks for having us and giving us a platform to just share a little bit more about ourselves in the tournament.
Of course, Frankie, you got anything else?
Yeah, and thanks to Dodgeball Hub, we're using them to run
Oh
this tournament.
yeah.
It's been really good partnering with them. You can definitely follow along on their website. And kind of like funny, you saying we're bringing an extension cord made me think of like when you run leagues and events, you forget all the little stuff. Like you need to make sure you have pens and extension cords and things like that. It was so funny that you mentioned that. So shout out
Yeah.
to all the other league organizers that are attending and are growing the leagues on the East Coast and all the events they run as well. I think pretty much every league here has run at least one tournament or helped with USA round. So keep it
Yeah.
up. Let's keep growing dodgeball on the East Coast.
Hell yeah! Shout out everyone that's going to be there this weekend. Everyone get there safe. Shout out for Philly Dodgeball for hosting this. It's going to be a fun tournament. And shout out Nutmeg and shout out Christine, Frankie's pregnant wife.
You trying to one up me? Good job. Now she's gonna listen to the whole podcast. I'll be like, Ryan said something really nice at you an hour and 45 minutes
No,
in.
no. Don't tell her the time. Don't tell her the time. She's gonna have to watch the whole thing. But that is it. Thanks for hopping on, guys. I will see you this weekend.
Thank you, Ryan.
Peace.